everybody. Before I even start, I'm going to tell you this video is going to be too long for Instagram. The message that's come through with a song is huge. It is a completely different shift in terms of a message that's coming through. One that's going to be pretty heavy, I suspect, but I can definitely feel the balance on the other side of an invitation to not sit in the heaviness of this and really sit with what is in alignment with what it is that we want to experience through whatever might come through this. So the words that came through with this song, and I'm going to choose to use this song rather than the other song that actually is also, there's a few songs in this one, but this is the song that came through with very different words. So this is Edge of 17 by Stevie Nicks, and the lyrics that came through me were, "When the wild wind blows, here's the song that we all be singing." I don't know if I didn't know the words to this song and that's what I've always sung, or if that's come through for a reason. I actually couldn't tell you, but that just kept playing over and over in my head. This is a couple of days ago now. When I tried to work out what the song was, I actually first found the song "When the Wild Wind Blows" by Iron Maiden. We're going to unpack that shortly. But I realized the tune and the actual song was this Edge of 17 by Stevie Nicks, which actually the lyrics for that part is, "Just like the white-winged dove sings a song, sounds like she's singing." The white-winged dove part of that is relevant to this message. So the song by Iron Maiden, which is called "When the Wild Wind Blows," is actually about a couple preparing for a nuclear explosion. They've been told by the government that it is coming. They've got a shelter prepared. They've got resources prepared for 1 to 2 years. And what actually happens is an earthquake happens and they assume it is that nuclear event, and they go into their shelter and ultimately they actually take their own lives. There is a lot within the lyrics of that song that feel really relevant to this moment in time, but also this message. And so I want to work through some of the lyrics of that song first and then unpack the meaning. And then I am going to dive into the cards and see what else we can pull through here, because there's a lot, and it does feel heavy, but there is definitely this counterbalance of this doesn't need to be what it is. So the lyrics of "When the Wild Wind Blows" by Iron Maiden, some of them are: "The world as we know it will be coming to an end. Nothing can be done about the situation. There will be a catastrophe that we've never seen. There will be something that will light up the sky." And again, as I said, this is something that has been told to these people by the news, by the governments probably. And so they're expecting this moment of end of the world, apocalypse, whatever we want to call it. They're expecting a catastrophe beyond anything that we've ever seen. And they're expecting, to not know if they're going to survive. I'm going to keep unpacking the lyrics and then we'll revert back to some of those bits and just speak to what's come through for me around that. "They tell us nothing that we don't already know about. They tell us nothing that is real at all. They only fill us with the stuff that they want." There's a lot in the lyrics that says, "Have you heard?" They tell us there is nothing we can do about the situation. I'm really getting the strong sense from this message is that whatever this is about, and again, we'll unpack it a little bit more and see what we can get, there is this sense of wanting to create fear in people, whatever this might be about. And we all well know that it could be very well about exactly the topic that all of these songs, and I haven't even mentioned 2 other songs yet that came through that I didn't know were about this. But whatever it is, there is this sense that they are trying to create fear within us about an event that may take place or may actually be staged and not be real. Like this sense of theatre of an event to push us into fear. And for those of you that have followed my energy readings and whatnot for long enough now, you know that that is an attempt to pull us out of connection with our own truth. More on that later, but also our own sense of peace and connection with the divine, with our pathway that humanity is on in ascending and getting out of these control systems. So I haven't heard that song before, "When the Wild Wind Blows," but because of how the original lyrics came through, I know that's part of this message. And then the other 2 songs that came through that I had no idea were about a nuclear event. Anyway, blows my mind. There is this message coming through around this splitting of timelines with the white-winged dove piece and the wild wind blows piece. It is this sense of we're about to be split off based on if we choose the path of fear or if we choose the path of hope and peace into two different realities. And with the white-winged dove part of that song, or the Edge of 17 song, there's a line in there that says, "Ooh, you know it's true." It is a call to connect with your truth. Disconnect from the media, disconnect from what politicians are telling you, disconnect from the fear, even if it's conversations within your own life, disconnect from that and come back to yourself and lean into what feels true and real for me and following that right now. Again, we know that this kind of event is very possible within the current climate that we're living within, but I'm really feeling like there is a hype being built around that possibility that isn't embedded in truth, and that is for a reason. Before I go into the other songs, as I was sitting with this message to channel what was going to come through the other day, I do just want to very briefly split this out into an individual message outside of a global catastrophe. There may be an event in your life right now that you're fearing, and you might be tempted to make a really big life decision that could actually pull you off the course that you're meant to be on based on what the outcome of this event you think is going to be or what you've been told is going to be. So if there is a situation in your life that you're fearing an outcome around, again, that's this call to come back to sit with what is your truth, what feels true and real for you, and do not make a decision out of fear right now. That is the matrix that you are existing within as an individual, trying to control you and keep you trapped in a cycle or actually push you off course. So yeah, do not be making never make decisions from fear, but particularly around anything that feels extremely scary to you right now that you might be making a life-altering decision around. Do not do that from fear. The other message that came through really strongly is around peace on earth, with the white-winged dove, with this song itself, and with the fact that within that song, the wild wind blows, it wasn't actually the event that they had been preparing for. And again, they made a life-altering, life-ending decision as a result of that. I got peace on earth. It's what we have wanted. We as humanity want peace on earth. War is not here because of us as humans interacting with each other. It is a system of power and control for many purposes, including to keep us trapped in fear and be controlled by fear, by borders, by division from one another, to keep us scared of each other. And what came through really strongly is we have been sold a lie. There is something here that I'm going to try and tap into with the cards around the heartbeat of the earth. And again, for those of you that have watched my energy readings, you'll know that that has been a really strong theme that I've really struggled to really get tapped into. And I will look this up shortly, but I saw something the other day around scientists have heard the heartbeat of the earth, and it's something to do with what's happening in Africa, where there is a splitting of the earth that might put an ocean through the middle of Africa. And again, we'll dive into this, but what originally came through is that piece around borders. Like, as the earth herself shifts and changes, we're going to realize how the borders we've put around countries again are a lie we have been sold and something we've made up and aren't based in any reality or any actual real sense of safety. The other visual that came through, which was so random, was purple berries. And I had no idea where to go with this. I looked up songs called Purple Berries. There is a song called Purple Berry, but it's in a different language and I don't know what it means. But what I found as I dove a little bit deeper is two things. The song that then quickly came through was Purple Rain by Prince. And I didn't realize that song was interpreted about being the end of the world. And being together at the end of the world, coming together at the end of the world. But with the Purple Berries piece, there is a song called Wooden Chips by Crosby and two other artists, I think. Again, a song I've never heard, that is about the aftermath of a nuclear holocaust and the hope for survival and rebuilding together. And as I looked up the meaning of that song, and I've had a listen, you're welcome to go have a listen. It says, survivors from opposing sides of conflict meet and share resources. In the song, the resources are purple berries, and create a new civilization. There is a line in the song that says, can you tell me who won? Like, this nuclear event has just happened. And the question is, can you tell me who won? And immediately I heard, no one wins. No one wins these wars. And especially if we end up in a situation where there is a nuclear event, there are no winners there. So what are we trying to prove? What are we trying to achieve by continuing to fight each other as we do? There are no winners. The only way we win is to come together in love and peace and harmony and meet each other and share our resources and build a new civilization, a new earth. And that is the peace on earth that we have all been wanting. 1616 on the timer as I say that. There's another line in the song that I just want to share, and then we will dive into the cards and see what wants to come through. It says, if you smile at me, I will understand, because that is something everybody everywhere does in the same language. And to me, that it's making me really emotional. Oh, holy moly. To me, that is just this reminder that we are all one. We're all the same, regardless of what country we were born in, what we look like, what our background is, what our religion is, what our last name is. I don't know what our jobs are. We are all the same. We all bleed red, and we all are not safe if we continue to allow the threat of these apocalyptic events to take place when nobody wins. So I told you it was a heavy one. Let's dive in. I'm going to start with my Pocket Archetypes card. I'm covered in chills. Also, it's so windy here today and yesterday in terms of when the wild wind blows. Sorry, Spirit, I haven't quite asked for anything yet. But maybe I'll keep those. All right, we'll keep those because it seems relevant. All right. I actually never do this, but I'm just going to ask you all to take a deep breath and stay grounded in what it is that we want the future to be as we work through this message. I'm sure we will receive bits of both. But yeah, that feels important. The mother on the bottom of the card, which immediately makes me think of Earth. And the king on the top. Anyway, let's see what wants to come through. But what do we need to know about this message about when the wild wind blows? And yeah, peace on earth. Thank you. What do we need to know right now about this event that we're being warned of? The box. The mother is back on the bottom of the deck, so I'm going to actually take her and the healer. What's at the top again? The vow. The king and the vow. I'm just going to write these down. The king, I immediately thought of God and Christ. I was really diving into Christ's teachings last night and the return of Christ within us, Christ consciousness. The vow, as I see the vow, I immediately just think of a rainbow and like a promise that this won't happen. That peace is coming. Anything else, Spirit? Thank you. And I will tell you what the first three cards that fell out that do feel relevant. Thank you, Spirit. The creator. With rainbow colours. I'm shaking. Got venom on the bottom. The seed. And anything else, Spirit. The nectar. The village, which I actually did just see too. Okay, that's a lot. The rainbow bridge. The eternal child, and the king is back. So I've got a lot of cards that came out, more than I was planning on getting out from that particular deck, but all have a beautiful meaning. Before I even dive into what we've got here, and I'm not going to go into great detail, I've just got the overarching themes of the energy here. I want to point out what didn't come out. Like, there is a lot of, the reason I picked this deck is there are heavy cards in this deck, including the Apocalypses card that we got a couple of weeks ago in the week ahead energy reading. And really, those heavy cards didn't come out. The first two cards that did come out before I'd even asked Spirit for a message, I think do speak to the intentions, the fear, the control, and the group that are trying to bring about that timeline. The rest of the cards actually don't speak to anything like that at all. And for me, that's really relieving. I will say, I was a little bit nervous diving into this. The first two cards out were the Dead End, the Mask, and the Shadow. And to me, as I said, this speaks to the people, the group of people, who is such a small group of people that are trying to bring about this timeline of fear and control and are driving wars and are, doing all of the things that keep us trapped in a box. So the Dead End, to me, with the Mask and the Shadow, it speaks to the shadow aspect of humanity. And the mask that they're wearing, parading as people that have our best intentions at heart. But the message that is loud and clear from these cards for me is they've reached their dead end. Like, this is a desperate attempt to push us onto a different timeline, but they're at a dead end. There are enough of us awake now, enough of us wanting for peace, enough of us fighting for peace, moving from love, coming together, recognizing we are all one, that there's nowhere else that they can turn. They have reached a dead end. For this card within the book, it says closed door, final chapter, last page of this chapter. This is all coming undone for them. Again, chills as I say that. I think the mask will be dropped and revealed at some point in time, but I just really want to reinforce that message that what started with some really heavy ideas and songs and lyrics, and even where we're sitting collectively at the moment where we're being told that that's a real possibility, the vow card keeps coming through to me. This isn't happening. We are here at this point in time because we chose to be here to push humanity onto this new timeline, to bring in new earth, to create an earth that's based in peace and harmony and love for all. And that's exactly what we're doing. And the very small group of people that do not want that to happen have reached their dead end. Their time is done, is what's just come through. The next line was the box, which absolutely is what we exist within. These are all the systems of control, fear, division, judgment that we have been boxed within for our entire lives, very intentionally, to exist in the world that these people have created to have power and control over us and force us to be cogs in the wheel, parts of the machine that keep them in power, them in control, them in wealth, them in abundance, them taking our energy in more ways than you could ever imagine. This is the box, and we're breaking out of it. We're remembering that we are starborn, that we chose to come here right now. We're cracking out of our eggs and realizing all of the magic that exists within us, all of the magic that exists within this timeline that we are creating. Now, what is an interesting card that came out on this line of this theme is the medallion. And in the book, it talks about objects that might be passed through generations, across tribes, that have some kind of tradition or meaning associated with them. And there was a message within the book that speaks to remembering that material things hold consciousness and energy. And I'm getting this real sense here. It's a dichotomous sense of us possibly needing to sit with what material belongings, structures, longings, systems exist within our society that actually do hold energy and consciousness, and is that aligned with where we're going, what we're meant to be doing? Is that part of a system to control us and keep us blocked? And I'm thinking money here. Money is a perfect example of this, and even the shifts within that are likely to come in the next few years. Or do we need to release these things and possibly create our own rituals and material objects that can be passed with different intentions, different energy, different consciousness, that is grounded in what it is that we're trying to create. And one of the phrases that really stuck out to me for this card is, these things can bind us to unspoken agreements or promises. I think that's a really important piece to be mindful of through whatever it is that we're about to move through, is to really be sitting with what is in my life currently, or what is going to be coming in as an offering that is material in some form, that may bind us to an agreement or promise from these people, versus how can we create these things that support the society and civilization that we might be starting to build together. Next line, I had the creator, which I know I shared as well. I was shuffling. We got the nectar, and then we got 3 cards that came out together: the village, the comic, and the stone. So to me, the creator and the nectar have both big collective energy meanings and also individual energy meanings. I think on the individual level, this is reminding us of our need to step into what it is that we're here to do, what it is that we are here to offer and create in the world, and remembering that we are all alchemists. We can transform this dark into light, into what it is that we're wanting to create. Absolutely, there is a Christ, God, source, universe, whatever you might call it, presence within what is happening right now. And because I saw the rainbow and the vow and the creator card came straight out, there is that promise of, that promise of a new beginning. I mean, it just takes me back to the rainbow within the Bible and the promise after the great flood that wasn't going to happen again. I'm really getting that sense from here. It feels like the end of the world. It feels like we're on the precipice of the end of the world. But God is coming through right now to remind us that he made us a promise and he's sticking by his promise. The nectar card is interesting because I saw it in another reading this morning. It is the medicine, the elixir, the garden that is here to ease mind, body, and spirit. And to me, this is just a reminder to connect in with and offer to others the things that will ease their fears through this time. Remembering that we are all healers, we are all menders, we are all creators, and we all have something to offer in this timeline that will really be needed right now. Our nectar is needed in this moment in time to support ourselves, but also those around us. And as I said, the village, the comic, the stone. To me, this speaks to, because I've had all of these cards before. The village card, I remember, talks about having a village and coming back home to that village. And to me, this is this coming together of humanity, creating our own village, creating that new civilization that was in the Wooden Ship song. The comic card feels really light for this kind of reading, but as I read the meaning from the book, it said comic relief for all that ails us in the world, heals the deep division of the world. And so there's a real sense here that the things that are consistent across humanity, that smile piece again from the Wooden Ship's song, love and humor, is the thing that will anchor us into remembering that we are all one and really allow us to build from that really solid foundation of let's create this together. And I think just an individual message there for you, if humor is something that you can offer through this time, if love is something that you can offer in this time, if smiles is something you can offer in this time, that is what you're being asked to do to everybody, regardless again of backgrounds. No one wins this. We, humanity, win this against, trying to stop me saying this, we win this against the shadow. That's who wins. That is so clear to me. Then we had the mother come out multiple times, as you'll remember. The bridge, the eternal child, and the king, which again, I think just speaks to the divine support that is available to us right now, the connection we have to the divine, but also the idea that we are now on this bridge to a new timeline. For those of you that are watching this video, I have no doubt you are big key players in bringing humanity across this bridge. And many people will still be sitting on the other side in fear of not being awake yet, whatever it might be. We're going to help them across the bridge. You can see there's hands either side of that bridge. It's like reaching out to each other to say, come, get out of this fear, get out of this system of control, get out of this box. Let's go across this bridge and create something new. I actually think I had other decks out, but I actually think I'm going to stop there. Yeah, I am. That feels really complete and beautiful, and I'm really glad I dove into this energy. As I said, it felt heavy. It felt like something I was a bit scared to like open the box to and see what was there, and maybe that's the point. We have control over what we want to create. We have control over what timeline we want to step into, and yeah, I think we all know which one we want to choose. So let's do that together. Let's heal the world, heal ourselves, and step into creating this new beginning for all of us. All right, bye everyone.